Welcome to Chop It Up for the latest edition of this here podcast / videocast where I join with a couple of my brothers from other mothers, and we talk about...
He said several.
Well,
he cheating on us, Darian.
Yeah.
No, he's just used to having a crowd. That's all.
Wow. Oh, that's what it is.
Wow.
He's just used to just thrones of
2 weeks ago you had a crowd. A week ago you had an extra. Come on. I'm trying to be on your side, brother. You know.
So listen, this is the podcast.
Contract extended.
We have conversations about everything under the sun, barbershop style, whatever we talk about in the barbershop. We bring those conversations online. And into the podcast sphere for your entertainment, enjoyment, and just because we can and we feel like it. All right.
That's right.
My name is Kevin, host. I'm going to let the guys introduce themselves, and then we will jump into today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darian Lewis. Always happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Tari Watkins, Oklahoma City. Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Tulsa. Did I say Tulsa? I don't think I said Tulsa.
No, you didn't say Tulsa.
That's
and
right.
I'll just Phoenix.
Oh my God, Phoenix!
Listen, do
not
said,
right?
On Phoenix.
I'm not hating on Phoenix at all. I know. Hey, God told y'all to go to Phoenix. He didn't tell me.
Yep.
He didn't tell me
you
to
can
go
visit.
Western, man.
You can visit.
Oh, I can visit, but I'm not squatting.
Are you looking at the temperature, sir?
He always looks at the temperature. What are you talking about? That's not a real question, man.
I'm like,
when
are
is
you
he
literally
not
looking at the temperature?
When is he not looking at it when we're on? Because he knows how cold it is right here now. He knows that already, and he's rubbing it in.
It's cold here too.
It's a brisk 75.
Yep, 74 degrees, right on the nose, right there.
Don't give me cuss on air, bro. Nope.
Hey, JJ.
What's up, Bob? Hey, that's me. That's Babu. That's right.
I can say hi.
My dude. Hey, man. Hey, take that bass out your voice, son. What's wrong with you?
You want me to have a little falsetto in my voice? I mean, listen.
I mean,
this ain't that show.
You want this to go?
This ain't
what you really asking for? Hold up.
All right, so
it's a night. I feel it.
We really like each other. I mean, we really do. I mean, hey, just let y'all know. Don't get it twisted. Don't be putting stuff out there already.
Okay, yeah, the shivs are out tonight. I see.
Well, we have hot takes that we say what we feel like, and we just deal with it as we go along.
We ask for forgiveness later.
Yep. And sometimes we don't ask for forgiveness.
We just keep rolling.
Scottie Pippen can come holler at me. Bonnie's dad can come holler at me.
He just might.
Hey, listen, man. He can come.
New guest next week.
Hey,
Scottie Pippen.
Hey,
Scottie Pippen.
I told y'all. He talking about he one of the greatest. He's not even the top 5 of small forward. So
he's not though. Well, I don't know.
That's political.
It is. It's all.
He was good.
It's all. He was good, man.
I'm not denying that he was good.
Who was ahead of him?
That's the real question. Who do you get? Who's the other 5? If he's even in your top 10, who's the other 5, bro?
So I'll give credit. LeBron is up there, small forward.
What?
I'm giving. He's okay. He's in the top small forwards. He's not
okay.
GOAT. Larry Bird.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Dr. J.
Okay.
Elgin Baylor.
Okay.
And then we can come to talk about Scott.
I'm not mad at that list, though, to be honest. I'm not.
So,
I'm not mad at that list. I mean, there's some cats that probably don't know who you just two of those that you mentioned. True. They probably have no idea who that is. But honestly, I'm not upset with that list. So I can't hate on you for making a sideways comment about Pippen, because I can't argue with that. I mean, I could, but I choose not to. That's a solid 5.
If you want to come holla, I'm here in Phoenix. Post it up.
Post it up.
Post it up.
He's throwing up the deuce like I'm right here.
Oh,
here.
Just don't start crip walking on him, man.
He played in Chicago. I lived in Chicago.
Is there a difference?
Oh, there's a difference.
No, I was agreeing with you. Yes, there is.
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
All right, so this one, there's a few topics we want to talk about. First off, we want to kind of just deal with, there was last week, there was a school shooting that happened in Michigan.
Yep.
Of course, the news brought it that it was close to Detroit when it's actually a little ways away from Detroit. And yeah, we know why that happened. But it was a school shooting. 4 young people were killed.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes this one interesting, I think, is the fact that with this school shooting, there are now charges against the parents.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we've seen where the parents are being charged. And from what we're hearing,
we've seen publicly, parents have been charged.
There's some justification for this one.
Yeah, but definitely not to national news level.
No,
we've never seen like this.
Nothing that we've seen national like this. Yeah. And they still on the lam?
No, they were found.
Did they get caught?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
gotcha.
They got them. Good. What's crazy to me though is their lawyer actually asked for a bond.
Bro, you don't think they're a flight risk? They had to chase them down, and you think they're not a flight risk? Come on, bro.
You were on the run when they found you.
At least he tried. I mean, I give him credit for trying and asking at least.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He's going home and sleep.
Right.
In his own bed.
Right. Matter of fact, he's probably going to have breakfast with the prosecutors.
Probably.
Seriously.
What kind of deal can we work out?
And I'm not mad at the lawyer, because here's the thing. The lawyer's his goal is to just provide the most aggressive defense and do the things that should be done, or
shoot for the moon and hope he hits a tree.
I remember when I was doing bird dogging, finding houses to flip, or whatever.
Right.
I wasn't invested in it. If my buyer said, this is what I want to make the offer on, it was a ridiculous offer. Yeah, you got me up here asking for a house for $20,000.
Right. You got
clearly worth double.
A lot more.
Yeah.
And the realtor's mad at me. I'm like, look, I'm just the middleman. I'm just the person that's helping to work this out.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with the lawyer saying, hey, can we get bond? Hey, can we get them released on their own personal recognizance? All that stuff. I'm not mad. I would have looked sideways at the judge if they had given that.
Right. Did you just say yes? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Man, listen. At that point, I think everybody would have thrown up their hands like there is no justice system.
Right. Oh,
it's literally whatever you feel the day you go into court.
Yeah.
Today I'm gonna convict you. I'm gonna convict you. I'm gonna convict you. You get a sentence. You get a sentence. You get a sentence. Everybody gets a sentence.
What pissed him off today? They were out of his mocha latte.
Hey,
that's it.
That's
Sorry.
it. That's it.
Yep.
But even with that, the circumstances behind it, their excuse was for them running was that they feared for their safety. And I'm trying to figure out who was coming after you.
Right.
Were they getting threats?
I haven't seen anything that said it was proven. that they were. And honestly, if that's the case, then the safest place for you to be is in jail. Yeah. They shiv child molesters. They shiv
race.
You know what I'm saying? Based on rumor, they'll take you out on that stuff.
Right.
You know.
But the parents of a kid that shot up a school with kids,
teenagers.
Okay.
And I hate to sound that morbid, but teenagers.
I get what you're saying. I get it, but still, I mean, I don't know. They may not be.
Dude, the guy that shot up the New Jersey school, the elementary school kids, is still alive.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So threats on Facebook.
If anybody should be bled dry.
That's true. You got a point there, Aaron. You got a point. And you're right, baby girl. You're right. We don't know how credible those are. Keyboard warriors. We know how those people are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's the same thing that most prior to the internet, the death threats that people were getting. You know, they were intended to scare the bejesus out of people, and those folks were not going to do anything more than that. But you don't know.
You don't know because you've got the ones that are just that cray, and they end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So there was even this because the Attorney General was kind of leaning that way. There was this whole big brouhaha over the fact that the parents were even allowed to essentially get out of the area. There was this whole discussion of should the police have been kind of watching their house, waiting for the charges to come down, because if you watch the news on this, the Attorney General was making some comments kind of early on that kind of tipped her hand that the parents were in play for this, because of how the gun was accessed or purchased. It was purchased, I think, just a few days beforehand.
Right.
The kid was seen. The parents were just at the school because there had been concerns about some things that were happening as far as his drawings and stuff in a journal. And the mother had texted something along the lines of, "I'm not mad at you, just don't get caught next time looking for," I think it was like looking for bullets or something like that. He was searching that alerted the school to say, "Hey, we need to talk to your parents." And the mother was basically like, just don't get caught next time.
Jeez.
So that's why I think. Go ahead,
Darren.
I was going to say the only pushback I would have about the police watching the parents, waiting for these charges to come or not come, is how close do we have to get to civil rights before they cross the line? And just going in general. It shouldn't matter. Police practice let me not say that. I was about to say police practice when it comes to suspects or persons in question. And to me, I don't know why they wouldn't have called them in the first place. As soon as you grabbed your kid, I need to question you.
Yeah.
Was he underage? Was he under 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then they should have been notified anyway.
I believe they were notified, but they weren't called in for questioning. And I'm thinking that should have been the first thing y'all did was dig into this kid's home life to find out if there were any other issues, any other problems, and what they knew. Because at that point they could have possibly sped up that process and kept them.
Yeah, they could have. And I have no problem with people questioning why weren't they just sitting on the house. I mean, you also got to think about manpower. You got to think about, are they just going to pull 2 cars with 4 people possibly and just sitting there on speculation, not knowing? Well, you don't do that. That's not solid police work. I get the thought process of, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. But when you're thinking realistically, that doesn't happen because they need to be somewhere else unless we're for sure that we need to get these people. So you just can't send people there on speculation, hoping or waiting that something's going to come down. You can't do that.
And then you also, what are you going to do? You're going to follow them around if they decide to go to the grocery store?
Right. And
you know what I'm saying? Again, how
do that? Yeah.
How close are we going to get to civil rights violations before we tip that, cross that line?
No matter what they look like, it's still a violation. Yeah.
So to me, they lost opportunity, not even necessarily knowing, but having not pulled. To me, that should have been the first people that you, as soon as you grabbed him, hey, we need y'all to come have a conversation with us now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Due to the severity of the charges, we need to have a conversation with you guys right now.
Yes.
And I forgot what they're actually being charged with, but it stems from the.
Did they purchase the gun?
Yeah. Yes, they purchased the gun for him. Yes.
That's stupid. I'm sorry. That I know. Ashley already asked that question, but why? I mean, no. He's not of age. And I know there's a lot of people around the country that do that, and I get it. There's kids that grow up knowing how to shoot a shotgun at the age of 6. I get it. I get that. But your kid that's in high school and going purchasing him a gun for him to come on now. Common sense is a privilege, not a right, obviously.
And you know that the child has some problems, right? Has some
on top of that. Yes.
Right. So that alone is a felony. Other reason as to why not to do that.
Yeah, that alone is a felony. Purchasing it for I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up.
Woosah.
I don't deal with stupidity that type of stupidity well. I don't. I mean,
yeah. Well, you can't shut up now. You're on a show.
Right.
Hey, it's 2 other brothers here that can speak up. I ain't the only one.
This is the show of hot takes, unpopular opinions, and whatever else you feel like saying.
How dumb do you have to be to purchase a firearm for your teenager that's having issues?
Yeah.
You're not their friend.
Right.
You're their parent.
But the assumption is that they weren't ignoring all of that stuff. You're speaking as a good parent. You're speaking as a parent with some sense.
I'm like I said before, common sense is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah.
Not everybody is afforded the
I don't even think we should call it a privilege. I think we should call it a rarity.
Yeah.
I do not disagree with that at all. I mean that
yeah, but see, that the fact that they they said don't get caught next time tells you their mindset.
Caught next time.
This kid can pretty much do whatever he wants as long as he stays out of their hair. I really believe that whatever he asks for, they don't think twice about it. I want a gun. Okay. And they'll just, he's going to go in the woods. He's going to shoot trees and targets.
That's why they ran. They didn't run because they feared for their life. That's why they ran. You know why? Because they make terrible decisions.
Yep.
They obviously make terrible decisions. So they ran because they thought that's what they should do.
They're charged with involuntary manslaughter.
They should be charged with everything. I'm sorry. Bank fraud, mail fraud. I don't care. Whatever you can throw at them, it doesn't matter to me. Jaywalking. I don't care. Whatever it is, throw it at them.
The literal book thrown at them.
I want I don't know what state it is. The one where it says you can get a ticket for walking down the street eating an ice cream cone. I want that thrown at them too. I don't care what it is. I want it done.
He wants to borrow laws.
Okay. Yes.
I want to borrow this law from California and borrow that law from Nevada.
I don't care. Whatever state they decided to cross through, link it. Make it happen. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I can't even argue with that. The scary part is this isn't new. This is a result.
No, it's not. That's what you're right. That's what's scary. This is not new. And it happens more than we believe that it does.
All right. So I just looked up weird laws in Michigan.
Here we go. Let's do it. I want them
So,
all.
first
I
of all,
want 'em all.
here's one that is kind of applicable to this situation.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's still in effect, but as of 2019, it looks like a 12-year-old can have any person over the age of 12 can have a license for a handgun as long as they have not been convicted of a felony. So
Does
your
it give the
12-year-old
age? Does it give the age of
Can you be
the law?
convicted of a felony at the age of 11? Is that even
Yes.
possible?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
yes, if you're black, yes, it's definitely possible.
I smirk, but
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I thought
You're
I was
not
muted.
wrong.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yes, you can be Emmett Till.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because I don't.
I'm just saying. You said at 11, could it be
you're
possible?
Right. You're absolutely right.
You're right. You're
Emmett
100%
Till.
accurate.
Yes.
Yes,
Moving
right.
on.
All right.
Yeah. Next
Other
point.
laws in Michigan. Putt golf courses must close by 1 a.m.
That's
Hey, man.
law.
Hey, those putt-putt games at 2 a.m. are legit, bro. They go hard. I'm telling you. After a couple of White Claws, them jokers out there, they be tripping. Man, you know, the White Claws, that's that danger water, bro. You know that. Hey, they get the White Claws, they act crazy.
It is illegal for a man to scowl at his wife on Sunday.
That's real talk, though. That's called longevity. Don't do it.
How could you get convicted? Is my question.
It's against the law, brother. You know that.
So somebody got to catch you with a snapshot? I mean,
hey.
They're digging up a
and if you
got a
Polaroid. A good lawyer, they're going to question the angle of the shot. They're going to question what you were actually looking at. They're going to question the proximity of what?
I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at that.
I was eating a lemon head. I wasn't scowling.
I was eating a warhead. That's what it was. Wow.
A bird pooped on my window. I can't scowl. I can't scowl at a bird. That is crazy.
I want them convicted of that too. Yes, I want that thrown at them too. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. A woman is not allowed to cut her own hair without her husband's permission.
Please tell me that is not in place still now.
According to this website, it's still in play.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even messing with that one.
Like the entire female population would have to go to jail right now.
Listen.
They would all get tickets. Just do you identify female? Yes. Are you married? Yes. Ticket.
Hey, no. Apply it to the mom. Throw her in jail. That's it. That one sticks. I'm telling you, whatever ones you can find, put it on her. She's the one that said, "Don't get caught next time. Don't get your hair cut without your husband."
Tunnel vision right now. Does this stick to that chick? Does this stick to that dude?
Hey, whatever sticks.
Listen, and I think I saw a post from DL Hughley about the situation and said, I need all the Karens to inspect their children's bags the way they want to ask every black person for ID.
Yes.
So yeah, DL always has a hot take.
Oh, here's the thing.
He's not right.
I don't disagree with him though.
No.
I'm like,
because the speculation is that the gun was on him when he had that meeting with the parents and the teacher that very morning. So if someone had just said, "Let me see your bag," could have saved some lives there.
We only speak truth, people. We only speak truth. You may not like it. You might not like it. Hey, as they used to say, I know it's tight,
but it's right.
You know what? And I remember, I don't want to, because I definitely don't want to make this a race thing.
Too late.
Well, no, I remember the push to have armed security in predominantly people of color schools, including elementary schools.
Hard push. Hard push.
metal detectors
Mm-hmm.
that you had to go through. I mean, like you were going through like the airport. Like if you came in with a bag, it had to be at the very least wanded, you
Right.
know. And
Clear
we've
backpacks in a lot of
never
these urban
had,
schools. Yeah.
we've never had before or since those measures a school shooting in a predominantly of color school. I can't think of one. If someone can if
Well,
there's one, there, you know.
I'll say that there's the potential where there has been, let's say, gang violence.
And not be reported or not be or the news not cover it because they just
Right.
think it's normal.
So there's the potential, but
Yeah.
I think there's a distinction also here is that when you have typically when we're talking about school shootings, though, we are talking about random, without a set victim. But if there is set victims, there is a litany of people that they are going for and gunning for.
Right.
And therefore, anybody that gets in the way, anybody that is involved in any way or has wronged in any way, that becomes the target. As
Right.
opposed to, if we're talking about gang violence or
whatever,
what have you,
person,
typically there's a person that I'm going after.
Right.
And that's my focus. That's my target. That's my intent. I'm not trying to shoot up everybody just because.
Which doesn't make it right. But yes.
Right.
So help me understand. So help me understand if we well, okay, but let's remove the motive for the second.
Okay.
What's the difference?
No, there is no difference.
Right.
Somebody got shot in a school. There is no difference.
That's my point.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's my point in a nutshell.
Right.
We are how many years after Columbine?
Oh my God, dude. That was what, 90s?
99.
Yeah. What,
I've been a part.
Years?
Huh?
22 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thereabouts.
Yeah. 22 years.
I can math right.
Like kids who were born that year are now adult. They've come all the way through school.
Mm-hmm.
And my point in bringing that up is I remember watching and being a part of so many of the changes that were made, not only to how public schools handled, they had to be aware that it is a possibility now that you've got rogue students who have never shown, or at least publicly, the desire to be violent, and they show up armed to the teeth just one day. You had to take that into account, and you couldn't take into account, well, that only happens in that neighborhood.
No,
you couldn't do that anymore.
No.
So my point is, what is causing people to stop being as vigilant as they were, when you, particularly if you're already troubleshooting that you've got a kid who's got an issue. Okay, at some point, to me, you just you either got to move faster, or you've got to have measures in place. I don't care what the school is. The elementary school shooting is what pulled up everyone's security alerts even higher. These were these were babies. These were babies, and dude just walked up, just time to let loose. So yeah, that's why I kind of have a challenge with this whole thing in a nutshell. It's kind of like, to me, it was the approach of, well, it couldn't happen to us, and it did.
Yeah.
But it has happened before. I mean, it's not like this is.
No, I'm talking about with that school,
right?
Oh, you mean
that administration?
You mean Columbine? Or you mean Michigan?
No, I mean Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Michigan. I mean that school. I mean those I don't want to say that community. That school and those that were in that school. Middle school is probably one of the most emotionally volatile times in a kid's life. Anyway,
I hated middle school.
So anyway, I mean, we can go on and on. At this point, we're kind of like Monday morning quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to what you just said as to why people just don't. I mean, we're talking administrative. We're talking not civil, but city regulations or county when it comes to schools and what they're going to put in place. Now, we're also talking about people's just mentality when it comes to recognizing triggers and when they see things and they just say, that's boys being boys, or that's just teenage. I mean, so and I can name 3 more So there's multiple layers to that of why this still happens. I mean, we can put in secure, but the further we get, and just like I said the same thing about 9/11, because I worked at the airport. I was part of that security push. I needed a job, so I needed to scan folks. But I remember saying about 9 months after that, the further we get from a situation, the less sensitized we are. Our sensitivity level goes down. Because I'm like, I mean, if you got to search me, search me. I don't care. I want to get on the plane that's safe. But the further we get away from it, the more people are frustrated. They don't want to do it anymore. And we're talking Columbine, we're talking Sandy Hook, and we get so far removed from it that people just don't care about it anymore. That, unfortunately, that's where society is. Unless it's right here, we forget about it.
Right.
And we're not worried about it. It's not what's sexy. It's not what's pretty to talk about at that point until it happens again.
Unless it impacts me personally.
Right. You're exactly right.
Because I mean, let's just be honest. If we look at Sandy Hook, that should have been the one that changed everything.
Well, don't forget, they say Sandy Hook was a conspiracy. Don't forget that.
Yes,
those
those
kids are still alive in some combine collective somewhere. Yeah,
and those are the same people that are losing court cases left and right now.
Yes,
and getting sued because they are making stupid statements.
Yep.
And Tupac was spotted in Colombia.
Right,
got it. Along with Elvis,
Biggie was spotted at an In-N-Out. So yeah,
exactly. Biggie dead. Everybody know Biggie dead. Tupac alive.
God, dog.
He came with his left foot on that one. Wow. He was like, "Now Biggie dead."
No, Biggie dead.
Well,
how much of a fan you are?
There's never been any. Well, is Biggie still alive? Tupac, there's still been, and part of it was because Tupac. There was like 13 albums that came out after Tupac died.
Yeah, that's right. Machiavelli, he's still alive, brother.
But it was quite a few that came out.
It was enough.
It was a lot. But they said he had over 500 tracks.
They said the same thing about Prince. I mean,
we'll never hear the closet tracks.
Of course not. I want to. That'd be fantastic.
And that's on the family. But all right. Enough of that. There's another thing that happened in the news that we definitely want to talk about. So say what you will. So Joel Osteen, where you stand with him is where you stand with him. But Joel Osteen, basically, news came out last week or earlier this week, I think it was, that Plummer was doing work in the church. I want to make sure we understand. It was in the church, not in Joel Osteen's home. It was in the church, and behind a wall, I think behind the toilet is what the story said. They found several envelopes, totaling, and mostly in cash, some with checks, totaling nearly $600,000 in offering.
It's a heck of a deposit.
Listen, and I think there was something about money missing several years ago.
Yes,
a burglary. Yes.
It was they said the petty cash safe was robbed, and it was over 300,000. They never. I remember that it was over 300,000 because it flipped me out that a church would have petty cash of 300 grand.
Petty cash.
That's literally we're gonna buy everybody pizza today. That's
petty cash.
Yeah, that's petty cash. Like, oh, we have an emergency. Okay.
Let me just say, as a pastor of a church plant, wow. I'm just saying, wow.
He just stopped at wow. Petty cash.
Petty cash.
Petty cash. That is literally the secretary is going to get donuts. That is
for all 10,000 people.
That's petty cash, man. That's the vans need gas and the cards haven't arrived yet from the gas account. Okay. Seriously, I mean it's someone forgot to pay the lawn guys. Oh, okay. Right. 300,000.
300,000, bro. That's
pretty petty. Yeah, that's
because hear me. I mean, that means that's money that does not have to go up for budgetary review.
Right.
There's no board involved with that. That is just
Nope.
money that is said, look, at the discretion of whoever manages that area. You still give account for it, absolutely.
Yes, it's still accounted for. Yes.
I don't have to come and say I need approval to pay this.
Yep.
Or I need approval to go and do
It's
this.
literally miscellaneous spending.
Literally.
$300,000.
So did somebody stash it and expect to come back and get it later and they just forgot?
So what was that movie? Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence?
Martin Lawrence, yeah.
Where he hit the money or hit the diamond in what turned out to be a police station later on?
Yes.
That's basically what they did. It seems like somebody took some envelopes, put them behind a wall and said, I'm going to try and figure out a way to come back and get it.
And didn't figure it out.
Or maybe they got saved for real and
or did they get Ananias and Sapphira?
Or
I'm just
or where they put it, they thought there would be an access that they wound up
shellacking.
Right, rewalling is what it sounds like.
They walk again. What the? Right.
Yeah. Right. You just cussing all in the bathroom, like, hey, brother. You know where you are?
It's a native TV movie right there, man. That's...
And you know there's probably walking around the wall 7 times. Praying that the wall fell down.
It don't work that way.
Can you imagine watching somebody just pace in the bathroom? Brother, you okay? Yeah, man. I'm trying to see if this is gonna work again.
I'm looking for a miracle.
Hey, when the brothers are asking, hey, where the brothers to play the trumpet at? I need them for a second. can we bring them in here for a minute? I need some trumpets.
Somebody staring at the wall, just talking about for real. Oh, you ain't gonna do it this time. Oh, you ain't gonna do it this time.
If he did it before, he could do it again.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is some clown stuff right here, boy.
So
it's crazy to think. I don't even know what scenario that would be. That's how crazy this is. And for anybody that's out there, no, Joel Osteen did not go put the money in the wall and seal it up himself and stole from the church. Seriously. Right. So anybody that's saying that, can y'all stop saying that, please? Seriously.
The other thing I've heard is tax evasion.
I'm sure he had nothing to do with that.
And this ain't got nothing to do with tax evasion. Yeah, this ain't tax evasion either. Listen.
Tax evasion? Listen, $600,000 doesn't touch their tax bill.
Not even close. Not even close.
Number one. Number two, there is no tax bill. It's 501c3.
Go read a book, people. Go read a book. Just go read a book. Just off I'm asking you. Go read a book.
Tax evasion.
Whatever. Okay.
Man, if I've got a $50 million a year budget,
$600,000 isn't going to do anything.
That is literally petty cash. I mean, seriously. But again, if it's envelope upon envelope upon envelope of cash, that's not an inside. And this is the other thing that's blowing my mind is that people are automatically assuming it's an inside job. That makes no sense.
Right.
Makes absolutely no sense. Somebody who had access to the cash came up with a scheme, a plan, something, and it didn't work.
Right.
Period. It just didn't work. You know, maybe a particular plumber was supposed to do it that way, an in-house job, and it would have worked, but they had to call an outside guy who was like, "Hey, I'm gonna turn this in. I'm not touching this."
He's like, In God's house? Oh no,
God money.
I'm not gonna be like the children that played around the ark and fell dead. Nope, that ain't gonna be me.
Yeah. So I mean, there's I hope there's we'll probably never get the full story, but I would love to see if there's going to be a full investigation into what happened.
Right.
Because I'm just absolutely curious. Now, let me just, I'm not a Joel Osteen fan. I don't watch him. I don't read any of his stuff. But I am a defender of truth.
Yes. Yes.
So let me help some people who are going to watch this, and you
Please
can
help them.
please fact
Please
check
help them.
me. All
Please
right,
help them.
Joel Osteen was a millionaire before he ever became a pastor.
A lot of people don't know that.
No, they don't.
Mhm.
He and his wife were into real estate years before he became a pastor. He
Mhm.
worked in when John Osteen was the
Mhm.
pastor, and they were like 5 to 10,000 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He ran the television ministry. He didn't want
Yes.
the public light. People
Right. He didn't.
they didn't know that. He was not asking to be pastor when his dad passed. He wasn't on the board of directors. He was an employee. Okay, and a very practically volunteer employee, because he was already making his own money. All right, so let's get that straight. Number one. Number two, when he took over the church, he grew that church literally from 10,000 to 50,000.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, folks feel like if you take church off of it, if you build an organization that has that level of growth, exponential growth
Mhm.
to your customer base, if you will, you deserve a raise or two or three.
Oh yeah.
So there you go, Darren, applying common sense
My,
to
my bad.
people's logic. How dare you?
And
Right.
again,
And real life
also
scenarios
Mhm.
to to explain
We would
something.
reward anyone else that accomplished that. But if it's a pastor, you stealing.
Well,
I
it's the
don't get
same
that.
people. It's the same people that got pissed off at Lincoln Riley because he went to USC. I'm like, you mean to tell me you never left one job to go to a competitor to go to someone else and they offered you more money? I'll wait.
And here's
There's
the
a
other thing, guys.
non-compete clause in my contract.
But here's the other thing also is that if we also look at how probably his salary is structured, and I know this also because what Jakes has said about his, because both of them, there's been a lot of they
Right.
take and they doing this.
Right.
Joel Osteen has a Sirius XM channel. Joel Osteen has several books.
A channel.
Still selling.
Everybody hear that. He has a channel.
So, transitioning that over to Jakes. Jakes has been producing movies and TV shows. Jakes has books. Jakes has plays. So just because you see them doing this doesn't mean that all of their income is driven by the church giving a salary.
Well, you've got ones that do not take a salary from the church because of the things that they are doing outside of which is their ministry.
Yep.
You've got quite a few, and people just don't. Well, first of all, they don't take the time to find out. First of all, they don't take the time to understand. But
do you know how hard it would be to grow a mega church ministry or even maintain one? Let's just not even maintain one, but let's just say to take it from just an average
right
100 300 members, and grow that into the thousands, and you live in you live in lavish,
right? The numbers don't add up. The numbers don't add up.
It doesn't work, people. I don't care
doesn't.
how much folks are giving. It doesn't work. It's the same thing with any entrepreneurial pursuit. Again, if you grow your business from one location to 10 locations, and you wind up driving a Bentley and you buy a plane and you have a vacation home in 2 or 3 different islands, no one's going to think a thing about it. You earn that. But when it comes to ministry, we absolutely flip out when people are provided what it is that they seek. No one is, and to me, it takes more skill because that's all volunteer.
Yes. Darren, I had a conversation at lunch one time with some of my work people, and we were talking about that, about how, it's not okay that a pastor of a church or whatever can have nice things. I said, where do you get that from? Why? Well, because they're a minister. I said, okay. I said, so what you're telling me is that if I go to school to be a lawyer and I go through, get my degree, and I become very, very successful, I can get what I want. I go to school for that. But if I'm a minister and I went to school. I studied. I honed my craft. I'm able to speak to people and be an inspiration and to help people's life and change people's lives. I can write a book. I can write multiple books, but all those proceeds from my profession, my job that I went to school and paid money to go to school for, all that needs to go back to the church, and I don't keep any of it. When that's my profession, I don't care what you think about it in your eyes. That's their profession. Now, they run a ministry and they serve people, and that ministry is taking care of people. But this is their job. Just because you've seen other people abuse it doesn't mean it's the majority. There are a whole lot of bad cops out there. There's bad doctors. There's bad firemen. There's bad lawyers. There's bad library people. I don't care. Pick a profession. There's bad people in everything. But you don't paint a wide brush for all of them because they're not all that way. And they literally just sat there. I said, I'll wait. Because nobody thinks about that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Now, there are, again, with ministers, of course, I have an affinity toward just anything nonprofit anyway. To me, it's the same mindset. If you're doing something, if you're supposed to be doing good for people, then you shouldn't be rewarded for it financially. I don't know where that concept, I really want to dig into where that concept began. And I believe it began with either the Quakers or the Puritans or the Amish, somewhere in there.
Right.
I'm convinced of it because this mindset, the only people that and this is the other thing that I noticed, you never hear rich people complain about rich pastors.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Matter of fact,
some of the poor
rich
folk.
people don't want to go to poor pastors.
No, they don't.
That's true.
When they need spiritual help, they reach out to the Creflos. They do. They reach out to the Joel Osteens. They reach out to the guys that have money. Why? Because you understand what I'm going through.
Yes.
Right.
But these broke folks, you ain't supposed to have all that. Why? Because you don't? Because you won't do anything to go earn that?
But there you go. You're using common sense again. How dare you? If I'm having problems in my marriage, I'm not going to go to the pastor that's been divorced 3 times.
Why not? He knows. He
can tell you what to do.
Exactly right. So, Darren, that's your point exactly. Why I'm not going to go to a pastor that's broke if I'm making millions or billions of dollars, because they don't. Obviously, they haven't proven themselves to be able to handle something like that. So, yeah.
There was a guy. He did a documentary, and if I can find the name, I'm gonna shoot it to you. He did a documentary. I believe it's on Netflix. He did a documentary, and in one of them, he went to basically expose this pastor in Africa that he felt like was exploiting his people.
Okay,
and I think he had 100,000 members or something like that. And he lived a very lavish lifestyle in the midst of what is seemingly all of this African poverty.
Right.
Okay. And so on face value, that looks
shady.
Horrible. Yeah. It looks very shady. You know, you're taking advantage of all of these people.
Right.
And so the guy's talking to these members who are living in these, little shanty towns. And one of the girls, that's what it was. He drove to this town to visit because they had a teenager had died, and it really shook the town. And a lot of his members were living there, and so he came to the town to basically comfort the town, the entire town. He spoke, he spoke open air, but he spoke to people. He hugged them. He stayed all day, hugged them, talked to them, had lunch with them, just spent time in their homes, literally all day. All right, to just pour himself out into this community. And so when he left, that the interviewer stayed with his cameraman, and they began to talk to some people. And so he's really trying to run this pastor down, like, how do y'all support this man when he lives, he drives up here in a Mercedes, and you guys, you barely have a bike and all this different stuff. And this teenage girl said, why would I want to follow someone who's not successful? When I tell you, you could feel the air get sucked out of that room.
Yep.
This teenage girl said, why would I want to follow someone who's not successful?
Yeah.
How could someone who's not successful teach me to be successful?
People don't follow the 11th man on the bench of an NBA team unless they're related to them. I mean,
I'm not finna buy his jersey because I don't even know who he is.
Right. And if he has a sneaker, God knows I'm not going to wear it.
Or the 6th all-time small forward.
Oh, this man right here. This man.
No Pippen jerseys in this house.
Like none.
None.
So here's my question, Kev. Before all of this, you respected Pippen. Is that right?
I respect him. I respect his contribution. I respect all of that. But when he goes off the deep end, my goal is to help pull him back to reality and point out the fact.
Dude, you're not pulling him back. You're giving him a boot and a butt and kicking him off the edge. You're not pulling him back right now.
I want him to hit the reality of the ground sooner than later.
So you agree. You're not pulling him back. You're pushing him over the ledge.
You want to say I'm pushing him over the edge? He's already
said whatever gets him to the reality of the ground faster. Push, pull.
Maybe he's already over the edge. I'm just activating more gravity to help pull him down to where he needs to be.
Listen, that's like pushing somebody. Hold on, that's like pushing somebody off of a cliff and then jumping behind them to push them on the chest.
Even further. I mean, only thing Scotty is saying to you is don't push him because he's close to the edge, brother. I mean, that's all he's trying to say.
He's trying not to lose his head.
It's
like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder
how he keeps from going under, man. I'm just telling you. I mean, comments.
Oh my God.
All I gotta say is that he would have been hanging out and talking about insane in the membrane all this time. Insane in the membrane.
Oh. Everybody 35 and under is going, what?
What?
Look
it up.
Just Google the lyrics. Just Google it.
Just look it up.
Just Google it. Just Google it. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I mean, back to the point. Yes, you don't follow anyone that does not have anything to add value to you. If you're in the same situation I am, there's only so much that we can be walking together. If I'm looking to you as a leader, let's just say that. I'm looking to you as a leader. There's only so much that we can walk together on to where it gets to the point where you have to lead me. If you're leading me from next to me, I don't know how that really is looking as a leader. But if you're telling me where I'm going to go, it's the same thing we talk about it, when we talk about discipleship. Discipleship is helping someone walk through what you've already walked through. Right. It's helping someone to move forward in their life after you've already moved forward in your life. I can't help you out of your addiction if I'm still struggling with that same addiction. Simply put.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. The other thing that a lot of people just don't take into consideration is business acumen. There are strategies and ways to do some things. We talked. What was the gentleman's name? The musician.
Bernard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we talked to him and the church that he plays for, their business strategy is insane for a church.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is they have enough money to pay very high salaries for their seniors.
Yep.
Who choose not to. And I believe they choose not to. I believe they don't take a salary from the church. I do believe they probably have other means of income, because I can't imagine any man worth his salt not wanting to provide the best life he possibly can for his family.
Right.
That would make me go, huh?
Right.
So there are, there's a strategy in that as well, but it definitely keeps away the wolves of, you guys are taking the money. There's just different strategies of ways of getting this done, man. And if you don't understand big finance, you can't look at somebody who bought a Jaguar and say that they stole that from the church.
Right.
Let's not even talk about the folks that get gifted this stuff. They don't have to tell you somebody gave it to them.
True.
There you go.
I don't owe you that explanation that somebody bought me a Bentley.
And another thing that people don't think about is, even though something may be 503c or whatever, nonprofit, it's called a non-profit business. And people,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah,
I'm like,
you're messing with the definition, the age-old, time-tested, nonsensical definitions that we hang on to. You're messing.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. I mean, come on, people. Just because it's a nonprofit doesn't mean it doesn't operate like a business, because guess what? It is a business.
Right.
It may be a nonprofit, but guess what? People still work there. They get a paycheck.
And if you want talent, you're going to pay them.
Right.
I'm just
right.
If you want skill, because skill can go anywhere and get paid.
Yes. I honestly, I'm tired of simple-mindedness. I'm sorry. I mean, I may piss somebody off tonight. I'm being serious.
No,
we can't think these things through.
But you know what's funny?
If it was anybody else, but when it comes to the church, it's wrong because you're just not thinking and using common sense. You know what? You can miss me with that. Go somewhere else. I'm sorry.
But no one had a problem. And I'm talking about church people. I haven't heard anyone complain about having to buy a ticket for Hillsong. Or
they'll break their bank. They'll go into debt for that.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm like, but it's a praise and worship service with a sermon. It's basically a church service.
Yep.
That you're willing to pay $75 to $100 per ticket.
And then
not an offering.
And then buy the merch. On top of that.
Well, can I even? I think there's something else, and we're gonna be bringing this to a close soon. But I think there's a different dynamic also. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think some of this, when it's inside the church and the church has an issue with it, I'll say it's more people that look like you and I than look like Joel that have a problem with it.
I agree.
Okay. And then for outside the church, that's when people who are outside the church, it can cover a wider spectrum as far as people that have an issue. But inside the church, I think most of the pushback against Joel, against Bishop Jakes, against whomever, is from within the church on our side, if you will, of the aisle.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't disagree with that.
I know of people who were like, they're mad at pastors today because they watched their grandmother give to Oral Roberts.
Yes.
And I'm like, do you realize that you may be alive because of what she gave?
There you go, using common sense again. What's wrong with you?
Well, we can never quantify what we cannot count.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in other words, if we didn't see the event, we didn't see the mercy, if we didn't see the near miss, if we didn't see what we, we decided to go left instead of right, and we missed an accident and didn't know that there was an accident over there, because we went the other direction or anything of that nature. Everyone else got laid off but me,
right. Blessings don't always mean money. It may mean that it means that your car cranks for the next 3 months when it wasn't supposed to.
Right. Oh man, how did you forget to put oil in it for a week? How do we still have an engine?
Right.
We just don't take that type of stuff into account. We just go, woo-wee, that was close.
But yeah, the same thing with Jim. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Darren.
No, finish. What are we gonna say?
With Jim Baker. I mean, yeah, Jim Baker did some terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people this all the time. I said, I might not be here because of Jim Baker. I said, the reason why is this. No, I was too young. I didn't know who Jim Baker was. I was like 6 years old. I said, I don't know. I said, but I do know this, that my mom got saved watching his show.
Mm-hmm.
1977, watching the show, the program on TV. She got saved. When she got saved, my dad got saved. My dad got saved. I got saved.
Wow. Yeah.
I get it. I get that he did things that were wrong. He was in prison. He did jail time. But it doesn't stop that he had a ministry, that he touched people's lives, that he changed people's lives. It doesn't mean that he was a fraud. He did fraudulent things, but it doesn't mean that his ministry was a fraud. Because guess what?
Can I even help you there?
Go for it.
We mistake the flaw for disqualification.
Yes, we do.
In other words, every one of us is flawed.
Every single one of us.
We're all flawed. And we will want to disqualify people off of their flaw and disqualify everything that they've ever done, everything that they could do, and everything that they will do.
That's right.
When in the case of Jim Baker, yes, was he flawed? Absolutely. Was he, what he did wrong? Absolutely.
Of course.
But there was still something good that came out of what he did while he was doing it. So I can't throw out the entire baby with the bathwater.
Kevin, you got a weird theology, brother.
I'm sorry. I just know what saved by grace means.
I'm just saying. I can't throw. I can't.
Theology. I think you keep reading that Bible or something. I'm not.
And if we throw out Jim Baker, we got to throw out BB and CC Wine, and I'm not throwing them out either. That's how, that's how people learned about BB and CC. I mean, well, outside of the Winans family, anybody. Anybody inside the Winans family.
Murdoch.
Yes. I forgot about that. You're exactly right.
Can I mess with y'all?
Go for it.
Kirk Franklin.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He appeared on PTL right as he was becoming on the national scene, because he had taken over Dallas.
Right
as he had come on the national scene. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that's our time for this episode. As always, we have a lot to talk about and just a short time to do it in. But that's why you come back every Tuesday. And if you're on the podcast, make sure that you are subscribing to Chop It Up. Appreciate my brothers for this conversation. And we will see you again next week. Have a great one. Be blessed.
See y'all on the flip.